Nick Papadopoulos. People don't care about how much you know until they know about how much you care. And I always go back to asking questions and listening. Listening in a way that's really, really generous, and listening in a way that has people want to talk more. What could be some ethical pitfalls involved in marketing?
We are here, we're building relationships. I've got to trust you before I can actually put you to work. So you obviously have to size up the situation that you're in before you can really decide how to proceed. But I think what you want to do is establish value before you ask for the sale. So yes, developing a relationship with the potential client is vital. Showing that you can add value, showing that you're interested in them, understand their business model, their market niches, show how your firm aligns with my business. Those are the kind of things that wherever you are in the spectrum, from instant credibility right down to absolute cold call, are going to be important in establishing that your first instinct is to be concerned about me and the results you deliver for me, as opposed to your business development.
How does somebody make themselves more likable, and why is that even important to you?
From a client base, look, if I give you a bad case, we all know it's a bad case. What are you going to do to help me? Or what's your thought process? What do you think? Don't just tell me what I want to hear. I think that you can get that out pretty quickly when you do have a conversation, and you take it in many ways. When you're just so focused on the sale, I think that's almost like a turnoff on it, like trying to tell me everything I want to hear. You personalize it. You talk about things, and you let how the conversation evolves. And I think if you have a really good conversation that does move in many directions, to me, that's a benefit. Don't just sit there and tell me and my colleagues what I want to hear.
And Bob, all things being equal, people will do business with those they like. How do you become the difference in that statement? How have you been doing it for 15 years?
Never come on too strong. Never toot your own horn, and all these successes I've had and wins that I've had, and they just don't want to hear it because they know there's losses too.
So what do they want to hear?
They want to hear how you're different than your competition. And I find it's not about rates, and I don't want to be, it's the results. And what do we do? How do we handle our cases? How are we involved in trying to resolve cases early, proactive? What are we doing that's different than everybody else? We're not just doing these run-of-the-mill, we're going to take discovery, and we're going to do written discovery, and do depositions, and then this. It's just like, it's boilerplate. They don't want the boilerplate approach, and how are you different than everybody else, to show how you very early on try to do things and just not wait for deadlines to be here before you try to accomplish something to close the case out for them.
Have a meeting once or twice a year, a strategic meeting where you take a step back with your client and you review what's happened up until that point. You review what else is going on, what other options, what other services, other ways they could use you. You talk about the future. What's the business about to do? Really become their partner. I think Jack and Michael, you guys have been really talking really a lot about partnerships and the importance of a really deep, rich relationship. And this is a strategy that many of our clients have used to really deepen and strengthen the relationship. We're going to take our parting shots.
But you have to come up with a plan. If you're going to be marketing and you want to make rain, you have to have a plan, and you have to stick to it. And you have to have a certain point in time in the year where you say, I'm going to do my goals for myself, I'm going to do my business development goals, and you got to follow through with it. You have to set the time aside. You have to put it on your calendar, and you have to do it. And otherwise, why are they going to give you the case? Why in the world would they give you the case if you're not reaching out to anybody? But follow through. And in different ways. What works? An article, a little handwritten note, an email, a phone call. It's everything. It's depending on the situation, but you have to do it.
Seriously, I want to thank the Magna folks for actually setting this up. It's been a lot of fun to be able to talk to this group. And I guess what I would say is something I think I've repeated a couple of times already. When you're building client relationships, when you're developing business, know what your value proposition is and stay true to it. And I'm gonna use Magna again as an example. I mean, I've been doing business with them for several years now, and what you want to be able to do as a client, what you want your clients to be able to do is be able to tell other people what your value proposition is, because you reinforce it with them every time you do business with them. And I know what Magna's is, and I know with a lot of the law firms that I do business with, I can tell people what kind of value they provide to me. So I'm telling them what your value proposition is.
But the one thing I'd recommend to all of you, we all know who you guys are in the room, the senior partners. When you do go Rainmake and go visit, bring an associate with you. We know how busy you are. We already know you. Bring to us, when you come to the carrier, who your associate is, a guy that you trust, because it always goes with the same issue as far as I go. If I ever have a problem, would I ask you to defend me? That goes a long way of knowing who you are. And when you start bringing your associates, your up-and-coming lawyer, we want to know them as well, because you're busy. And I want to have that comfort zone that, for instance, here you're not available, you're on trial for 3 weeks. I can make that phone call and get a great response that we're not waiting. Time is of the essence. So when you're just building our relationship, you're also spreading your knowledge with your staff to introduce them to other people in the departments.
And my parting shot is, I'm going to say a couple of things, build on what the panel just shared, is that I've been full of quotes all day, so I'll leave you with a quote. 80% of success is just showing up. It's a Woody Allen quote. So as a fellow New Yorker, I wanted to quote a New Yorker. But more importantly, Bob, what you were talking about, Michael, what you're talking about, show up. That's the way to be successful. You were saying about blocking out time, right? Being intentional about your rainmaking activities. Rainmaking starts and ends with you being intentional and generating it. So 80% of success is showing up. Those are pretty good odds to show up that way. All right. Thanks everybody for being here tonight.